Hey, Daily Dosers, Hans here. It's so great to be with you. If you could take a minute and share, like this post, let's get the word out so that everybody can hear about the love, the grace of God. Tonight for the Daily Dose, I want to look at a Bible passage that if you've been around the church, maybe you haven't been around the church, you've likely heard this passage. We read it here at Calvary at every single funeral. It goes like this: "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along right paths for his name's sake." No doubt you have heard the 23rd Psalm. "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures." And here's what I know. When most of us hear that passage, and we hear the passage talk about God leading us to green pastures, if you're at all like me, I think of my grandfather's farm in northern Minnesota, where the grass was thick, it was wooded, there was more pasture land with this big, thick grass than any horse could ever imagine. But here's the reality. David was writing the 23rd Psalm, not in northern Minnesota. He was writing it in the desert. And I often wonder what it would look like for there to be a green pasture. What was David talking about? There are no green pastures in the wilderness. What David was actually talking about was little tufts of grass that sprout up in the desert when the Mediterranean winds blow in the evening. There'd be these little tufts of grass. And shepherds, it was their job to find those tufts of grass, to lead the sheep to where those tufts of grass would grow overnight. If you think about this, if you think about what David was writing, he wasn't just setting those sheep loose in a big old field of grass so that they can go off on their own. No, it took that shepherd seeking out and finding that grass, those pastures. What he was talking about was a whole lot more about dependence than leading someone to a big old field. You see, it took the shepherd to help find that nourishment that those sheep needed. The passage goes on and it says, "He guides me along right paths for his name's sake." There's something interesting in the original Hebrew. The word for paths also means circle. And if you were to go out in the desert and look at the paths that animals made over and around the hills, you would see, if you were looking from the sky, these circular rings of paths that circumnavigated all these hills out in the desert. You see, it took a shepherd to lead those sheep on the right path. Otherwise, you could be wandering forever. You see, I think what's interesting about this passage is it leads us to an understanding of God that requires dependence. That the nourishment that we seek, it requires a sort of dependence on God, a God that leads us to that nourishment that's often missing amid the cracked, the dry, the hard desert days of our lives. It's a dependence on God who leads us on those right paths. There's so many paths in our life today. There's so much that can distract us. But a dependence on God, it leads us on those right paths. Friends, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along right paths for his name's sake. You see, here's what I know, that the author, David, of that psalm knew this God of ours. But this David also knew that you and I, we experience dry, hard, cracking desert days in our lives. And we need a good shepherd we can rely on, who's going to lead us to that nourishment, who's going to lead us on the right paths. You see, that's this God we have. A God who we can depend on. A God who's going to help us get through this. You see, folks, we're going to get through this time. We're going to get through it with each other, and we're going to get through it with God. Have a good night.
People come together, strangers, neighbors, the blood is one. Children of generations, of every nation, of kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. Take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Our salvation is in His blood. Jesus, light of heaven, friend forever, His kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. Take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All His children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All His children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood is one. Children of generations, of every nation, of kingdom come.